Bill Garvey. Thanks for joining me for another Durkee instructional video. What we're going to do now is hoop the most standard location in our industry using the 15-centimeter hoop, which is your left chest location. To save time, what a lot of people will do, because you've got to figure out the correct adjustment for your inner and outer ring of your hoop, is to preset it. And what we want to do is test that by putting our hoop inside. And if you notice, I'm doing this on the bottom of the shirt. Again, this isn't the location we're going to embroider. It's just for me to figure out if I have the correct tensioning on the hoop itself. For example, that's a little bit too tight, so I'm going to adjust my ring a little bit looser. So now I know if I'm ready to start building my fixture onto my hooping device. Once you have your rings set, you're going to be ready to go. This shirt has already been pre-marked for our center location, and that's what we're going to use the center light for. So pulling the shirt onto the board, okay. Always keep note of your letter system. So for example, where all these shirts were marked small through extra large, okay, we're going to adjust our laser to find our center position for all of our shirts. Remember, this is only going to be done one time and on the first shirt. After this, it does not matter if you're embroidering one shirt or 1,000 shirts. You're going to have your exact location, so every job is straight and in the same spot on every piece for embroidery. Once I have that lined up, I'm going to take my outer ring, I'm going to take my brass bumper stops and position them. Now I'm not going to tighten those up completely until I get this hoop located in the center of where I need to hoop. So once I get that in place, at this point I'm hands-free. Once I get the two bottom ones in, I'm going to slide and position the ones into the top. Make sure everything is locked down tight into place, just like a screw, righty-tighty. So at that point, in roughly 90 seconds, a minute and a half, I have built my fixture with no needed parts to be used. So at this point, we have our fixture built. We've got everything in place, whether I'm ready to sew 10 pieces or 1,000. So at this point, we actually do not need the laser light anymore at all. It can be turned off, moved out of the way. Okay. Remember, it's just a tool to help find that center point position. From there, we're going to take our outer ring, which is setting up on top of our bumper stops. We're going to place our backing simply by lifting up on the backing stabilizer holder so it's down over the hoop. We're going to take the shirt that was pre-marked, but keep in mind we don't need the mark anymore. Everything is lined up. We're going to pull on into position. You're going to remember, get everything centered and straight, you're going to remember your letter position. You can mark this on your design sheets and everything for further use, so when your customer has repeat orders and you got to do another 48 of these pieces next week, everything can be marked and put into the same place. From there, we're going to put our hoop on. Make sure of your angle, up or down or top and bottom. We take any slack out of the material, but not stretching it, making sure our hoop is straight. We're going by the placket and the edge of the hooping station, so obviously that would not be straight. We're going to come here, all slack out. You're going to press, and from that point, you are ready to remove and embroider all in the same position. Okay, we just finished hooping a standard left chest 15-centimeter hoop. And this, what we're going to show you is a couple of techniques to use with the Hooping Pro to show how diverse this system can actually be. In the first segment, we also covered your laser light system. We're not going to use that in this system. I'm going to show you another method of finding your center pointer location for your garment. We're also going to be using a magnetic hoop to do the back of this jacket. So to start with, what I'm going to do is pull the jacket onto the hooping station, keeping in mind I've already found my center location point. Remember to keep track of your letter system. That can always be jotted down on your work orders and timesheets, so you can always know exactly where it was hooped. Okay, so at that point, instead of using the laser light at all, what I'm going to do is a bumper stop, remove it. I'm going to reach up inside, slide it into position, and find the location. I'm not going to tighten it up. I'm going to leave it a little bit loose. That way I can adjust it left or right to find that center location, reach in, and tighten it into place. Now at that point, I'm going to remove the jacket, and this becomes my X marks the spot. This is the center of where I want to be sewing and where I want to create my fixture. So to start with, I'm going to take the outer ring of the magnetic hoop. I usually do the release at the top. I'm going to take my bumper stops, finding the center position. Leave them a little loose. If you notice, these work better if you actually position them to the bottom of the frame itself. That's to keep everything nice and level and flush. So if we got that in position of where we want to go, I'm going to go ahead and tighten those down into place. I'm going to take 2 more bumper stops and move them up, normally at a little bit of angle at the top, making sure they're setting on top of and getting my center position and getting those tight into place. Now with the black O-rings, what those do is make sure those are pressed tight. What those are doing is creating friction to help the tendency of the magnetic hoop to pull and release itself from the board. So from there, I can remove the hoop. I'm taking out my center mark that I was just using as my X marks the spot. I'm going to put it back down in the parking lot so it's ready to be used later. From here, with our fixture, we are ready to go. But once again, I want to show you the diversity of this system. With these additional bumper stops, what I'm going to do, especially for our magnetic hoops, is put it into position of where we're going to be hooping at. Okay, I'm going to remove the 4 additional bumper stops. Whether I want to use 2 additional stops, 1 additional stop, or whatever. Remember, keep in mind, these are creating the friction to help hold that down and into place. So what we're doing is making that fixture even better. The parts are there, so use them. All tight and in place. So at that point, we're ready to start again. I'm actually going to remove my center mark. Now that our fixture is completely built, what we're going to do now is put our backing stabilizers holder in the correct position. Now, pushing down on our brass insert for our backing stabilizer holders, we're going to push those into position. This is a much larger hoop, much larger piece of backing, so we're going to use 2 this time, 1 on each side. We're going to take our backing and stabilizer, we're lifting up and inserting it underneath the stabilizer to hold it into place. Taking our jacket, it was already pre-marked. I've removed the sticker as everything has been set as far as the fixture in place and ready to go. Remembering our letter for future reference and everything else. You're going to get that out as flush and flat as you can. Remember that we are using the magnetic hoop. So from there, and you're ready to go. Everything is flush is in place. Find your top, line it up, and now you are ready to embroider the back of your jackets.